The Cardi B story keeps getting thicker and thicker. She is confirmed to be pregnant by Stefan Diggs, who simultaneously has two other women pregnant at the same time. And this is what she had to say about it.
Bro, this is Shirley. Yeah, busy. Yeah, yeah, that's your baby daddy. That's my baby daddy too, girl. Well, what now? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Cardi B confessed on an interview with Gayle King why she is with Diggs.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm actually I'm excited. I'm happy. I feel like I'm in a good space. I feel very strong. I feel very powerful that I'm doing all this work, but I'm doing all this work while I'm creating a baby. Me and my man, we're very supportive of each other.
Diggs even sent her a truckload of roses. Check this out. Cardi B also mentioned that her current husband, Offset, is trying to take her to the bank, and this is what he asked for.
And like I said, I'm not gonna stop living my life because on a contract, I'm practically still married because somebody want to hold me hostage if I don't give them millions of dollars to get out of it.
Tonight on Thursday Night Therapy, we talk about this and love versus family. Who do you choose? Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Welcome to Thursday Night Therapy, the show where we dive into the good, the bad, and downright awkward conversations we all have or maybe should have in therapy. Tonight's topic, love versus family. Who do you choose? Let's talk about it. But before we get into that, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that every time that we go live, you know when we're up. Just to remember, tonight's topic, love versus family. Who do you choose? Let's get into it. But first, current events. What's up, guys?
What up?
Hey, we're gonna get deep. We're gonna get deep tonight. Love versus family, man. We're gonna touch some souls tonight. That's gonna be interesting for sure.
Oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Man, jumping into this current event though, man. What's up with Cardi B? Got another one on the way?
Yeah, she do. And
like
and man, and look, and for me, it's like I'm getting some feedback from somebody saying, I don't know who was little feedback. Okay. All right. But listen, for me though, I mean, this is a testament to Cardi B's loyalty. Like, listen, he's in a perfect situation. Stefan Diggs got two other babies on the way. And do you see how Cardi B's handling it like a champ? She said, hey, we're just gonna have to all work it out. Now, as a young man, remember, most young men, penis is more stronger than their willpower. You know what I'm saying? So Cardi B is the perfect person to handle that situation because she understands this. She just said, hey, you know, you got two more babies on the way. We're going to work it out as a fam. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. If I had this when I was younger, I would still be married to my first wife. But she didn't understand this principle. You know what I'm saying? Young men are going to be out here and be fruitful and multiply. You got to understand that, especially when he's famous and has money. He's going to be fucking all these hoes. I mean, that's just the law of the land. I didn't start it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I live by it, but that's just how it goes, ladies. I'm sorry. It's just young men, especially when they have any type of power and a lot of females at them, they're going to be hitting them, man. I mean, like I said, it's just, that's just how it is. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all, but I mean, like I said, you know, women like Cardi B, who's been around, you know, she's kind of tomboyish, so she knows the psyche of men, and she knows what men's behavior is, and she's learned to accept it. And all she got to do is have somebody that runs shotgun with her. You know what I'm saying? And I think her and Stefan, in this dysfunction, have found a way to work things out because she's accepting him for who he is.
I got to hear from my sister on this one. How you feel about this situation, Bill?
I was hoping you, because I know you was waiting for Cardi, but I'm gonna let you have it because I know Cardi is your girl. Yeah, definitely don't agree with none of the things that Chuck says, but that shouldn't be a shocker, right? That should be like, yeah, that checks. So a lot of people are like, oh, she's not married. I don't really care about her being married. I feel like when you're in that type of bracket, I understand you not wanting to be married. And then especially if you've been married once, some of the people who I've met who've already been married once and maybe that marriage didn't go great, they're not looking to be married again. And I get that. Like, I'm not even sure about the marriage part, but like, you have the opportunity to change your situation, and you're operating in dysfunction because now you're having kids by this other dude, which I mean, Cardi, I think she's an amazing mother, the way she's very involved with her kids, but having two dudes, and he just seems like, to me, and I could be just judgmental, he just feels like Offset, just in a different form. I feel like she's having the same dude but a different dude, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I get it, have fun. Like, I'm not against her having fun, because she talked about we have fun. I don't even think she was trying to get pregnant. I feel like if you have unprotected sex, you're trying to get pregnant. But I don't think it was an intent to get pregnant. I think it was an oopsie daisy, and I think she knows it's an oopsie daisy, because when she did that Gayle King interview, she talked about she didn't tell her parents. And if you don't tell your parents, it's because you know you're wrong. You know this is not the best situation to be. She's an older woman in her ass. And Cardi usually snaps, she usually claps back hard. She remember when we all online, just fuck you, and she used to go in. Oh, girl, read or right, called her dumb bitch. That you're dumb for being in the situation. She was just like, yeah. Hey, what can we do? So I just don't think it was the best situation for her to be in. She just had a baby. Now she got to deal with this dude. He has a lot of things on him. I feel like Cardi probably should just wait before she had a baby. Go ahead, Tay.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's wow, this deep, because people are really split on this, and I'm hearing people say different things at different times. And again, perspective is everything. I went from saying "good for you, Cardi" to "oh no," because "good for you" was like, man, sure, good for you, because man, Offset ran that girl through the ground. She should have been left, fam. I was happy to see her get out there and begin to smile, and I was happy to see her having a good time and getting outside and all of that other stuff. But now she's taking it a step further and messed around and got pregnant in the middle of a divorce, in the middle of still being married to her husband. She's still married to her husband, technically. Now pregnant by a man who has other children on the way. And to Champagne's point, Stefon Diggs essentially is an Offset the 2.0. I mean, I barely see the difference. So for me, I feel like you went from 7 years of dealing with this shit to voluntarily signing up to deal with this shit all over again, without even taking a break, without even getting a divorce, without even spending any time to yourself to grow the things that are necessary when you leave a long-term relationship like that. So for me, I hear a lot of women, a lot of sisters bigging up Cardi, good for you, great for you, etc., etc. And I get what you're saying. Good for you in getting away from Offset. But if you think about this, having two baby daddies and having damn near 6 kids, like I'm not sure how this is good for you. How this is good for your outlook, because if her and Stefon Diggs don't work, then what? Tell me who coming to scoop up Cardi after she dated Stefon Diggs for 18 months, and now she got babies by both Offset and Diggs. Those are your two baby dads. We talk about this all the time related to men and their approach on women. What are her chances after this? Yeah, you Cardi. You went from being something that men sought to you can really slip down that slope to turning into now your baby dads is Offset, Stefon Diggs. You ain't really take care of shit. You getting older, etc., and got all these kids. And I just feel like she can make life harder on herself romantically if this situation doesn't work out for her.
Yeah, man. But to see, the thing is, man, like, you got to understand, like, the way Cardi B came up, she came up with a lot of dysfunction. This is what she's actually seeking from a man. She wants a guy that has a lot of different men. I mean, a lot of different women, and you know what I'm saying? And that's just what her type is. You know what I'm saying? She actually, this is actually in her lane. She was a stripper when she was coming up. You know what I'm saying? She's used to guys that are ballers, that getting a lot of attention or whatever the case may be. And I think she's probably turned on by other women liking her man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, for things to work these days, it has to be dysfunctional, man, because a lot of people do not like the traditional, just me and you, we're going to be loyal to each other. and nobody else inside of this relationship. And as you see, what their relationship is basically, like I said, she just went from one energy to the next. A lot of women just don't want to be alone. So they want to latch on to some type of energy that they can have where somebody is being there with them and whatnot. And, somebody that they're attracted to or whatever the case may be. And it's just the energy that she's actually shifting from one person to the next. It's not really the person. Like I said, it's like I said, with the vagina, it's never yours. It's just your turn. And that's what I think it is, how people view love these days. It's just like you going from one person to the next because you want that loving energy. However way you like to get it, you got to get it from this person. And she went on. I mean, at least she didn't go backwards. She stepped up a little bit, I think. You know what I'm saying? She didn't go down. She dated a little bit up to me. You know
for now, but what happens when you leave a situation that you've been in for that long and you don't take the time to heal before going into the next one is you carry that damage into that situation. Yes. Now you go in because, with all due respect, like Cardi B and Offset's marriage coming to an end deserves some breathing time. That man really did put that girl through a lot. Respectfully, totally understand her taking the time it takes to heal. But when you don't take time to heal from one long relationship before you jump into something else, you take that damage with you from that relationship into this next one. Now you rah with Stephon Diggs, etc. You end up not with him. Now what happens? Now you got another baby who she just had a baby with Offset. What? It's been within a year. So these babies are going to probably be within a year and a half of each other's age. They won't be far apart. They've got to grow up with two different dads. Like, she's going to end up putting herself in a typical place. Now you got two baby dads who ain't shit, who ain't choose you, etc., etc. And now what you going to do? You're going to get older. The rap career continues to go down. Man, that money ain't everything, man. A lot of women are thinking for the right now, for like the emotional hole that feels right now, but not considering what that does for your future dating value in the marketplace. Her future dating value in the marketplace can take a major hit if things don't work out with Stephon Diggs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, but it's just dysfunction at the highest level. Like I said, just because they millionaires, it's still the same thing that you got going on in the hood. It's the same type of dysfunction. Like I said, it's not a kindred type of love thing. They weren't soulmates. They were just somebody that she felt his music or whatever the case may be. He was her type, and they moved on. So she moved on to the next guy to help her heal from the last relationship. People do that all the time. And she got somebody that looked just like him. You know what I'm saying? So she used him, of course, to get over him. By her having the baby, that kind of like, you know what I'm saying, that sealed her moving on. That was her closure, I think. Oh, I'm getting kickback.
I mean, yeah. I wouldn't go back to her. Oh, is it for me?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, dang, Chuck, you fucked me up. Go on. What was I going to say?
But yeah, I'll keep talking to you, remember. But like I said, I mean, this is just everyday stuff, man. I mean, this is how people cope, man, with pain. She was, like I said, she held on to Offset way longer than what she should have. But she fights. She wants to keep that there so she can grab onto something else. And that's what she did. She held on as long as she could. And now she got somebody else. She got two other baby mamas pregnant at the same time. And as long as he's there for her, she don't care, man. That's what it is.
I think it's a maturing thing as well. When I hear about her, the way she talks about Stephon, I like that for her. I like that she feels good. One of the things she said was, he said, "Let me heal you." And I mean, as a young woman, that probably sounds amazing. As a woman around the block, I'm like, what? That sounds like game. You gotta show me something first before I fall to that, because it's just talk. And who knows? Like, he could have been the one. Also, Cardi is from the hood. So in the hood, like you said, Chuck, these are hood shenanigans. In the hood, you got multiple babies' mom. In the hood, there is I'm hood adjacent, but when I heard that people are just like, oh yeah, I know my man is sleeping with other people, but as long as he come home, what? That's normal? Like, that's not normal to me. I don't know people in my family who does that, but that's normal in the hood. So but we don't realize how dysfunctional that is and how toxic that is, because what are you teaching your daughter to accept? What are you showing your daughters and what they're going to do when they get older? Hopefully, she'll be like, hey, you don't be like mom and you do something different. And maybe they do, and maybe they have better influences because they grew up a little different than her. But she still has that mentality, and she also got to mature a little bit. Just because she's 32, she's still kind of young. I've done some dumb shit in my early 30s. You still matured. I just hate that she has a baby right now for her, but
Man,
I love it.
I think she blew the bag on the romantic tip, but I mean, we haven't had any evidence to show that she makes good decisions there. I think this is another bad decision, and unfortunately, when you compile bad decisions in that realm, especially for a young woman, you end up hurting your value in the long run. So, again, I hope it works out. That would be the best case scenario, that she gets divorced from her current husband and that her and Stefan did, go off into the sunset. But, if she ends up single again, just, think about the reduction in value that situation causes by itself. Getting a divorce from Offset and then taking time to yourself and getting out here, etc., you'd be pursued differently than you will be if this situation doesn't work.
Right. But see, this is the thing that I think too is like when as you progress too, which could make it better than Offset's relationship is if there's a complete transparency involved in the situation. If there's complete honesty and she accepts him for who he is, then where else can you go? Like I said, Offset was lying to her and whatnot. He was scheming, taking her money and all that kind of shit. Stefan Diggs, if he came and say, look, I got 2 other girls pregnant, what I'm saying? I like to get it on sometime. If you can accept that, then we could be together. If not, we might not work. If she accepts that, then that's actually a more functional relationship because there's honesty and transparency involved. No matter how dysfunctional it is, if somebody is honest to you and you accept them and they're not hiding and cheating, and being deceptive, then shit, we can work if we can accept each other's flaws. You know what I'm saying? And these days, like I said, young men are going to be on these hoes. Y'all got to understand that. That's just what it is. So if you can accept that from a man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can work it out straight up. I mean, that's just what it is, man. If not, he's going to just lie to you. And then you because you ain't going to accept it. And he's still going to be hitting it and hitting these holes anyway. So I think in this situation, the honesty part, since he's already got the babies and all that stuff going, I think it might work.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. Not too many people who run around on their chick, even if they're honest. If you run around on your chick, it really, to me, shows that you really don't respect her all like that.
It's not running around if she knows about it.
If she allows it.
Yeah.
If she allows it, you definitely don't respect her a lot on that. You don't respect your girl. One of the things you talk about, Chuck, is like if you have to run around on somebody, that means you don't have everything. You're not getting everything you are.
Yeah, you're not right. But if she accepts that, just like I've talked to some girls. They try to make a bargain with me to say, hey, if we be together, all you got to do is come home like 3 days out of the week and shit like that, because they know they wasn't sufficient for what I needed at the time. You feel me? I'm just saying. This is the type of shit that goes on. Hey, no, that if they still want you, they can accept the shit that you're doing like that. I mean, I'm just saying that's how shit goes sometimes, Champagne. Some people accept people's flaws. You're not going to get the perfect man on.
But liquor isn't good for me.
I bet you still going to drink.
It's not about that. I hate when guys talk about we're perfect. I'm perfect. That's crazy that expecting you to be faithful means that you're perfect. That's what dudes use to run game on you. Oh, you want me to be perfect? No, there is no. It's self-discipline. If you are running around giving your dick to everybody and you're giving ladies, you gotta stop having these niggas babies. That's what it comes at. Stop having these men's babies. If these men have not committed to you, if they're running, pregnancy is a very special thing. It is. That is why I've never had kids with anyone. I wanted to be married because you could die in pregnancy. Pregnancy irreparably changes your body as a woman. It is never the same. Just all the things you hear about that pregnancy fucks up. And to get pregnant for a dude who's running around and getting everybody pregnant, you don't deserve that, queen. You don't deserve that, sis. If you see that and you see someone doing that, I mean, as you know, Dante, you don't have daughter. Chuck, you got daughter. I
Yeah.
would, if your daughters see that, they'll think that this is okay for me to live by. As long as as long as I have a man in my life, that's okay. But there's guys got STDs out there who's bringing it back to you. It's not worth it, ladies. Leave them. That's all I gotta say about the Cardi B thing. She fucked up. I hope she gets together. Did y'all hear about? There's like a sexual assault by a dude coming out about Stefan Diggs.
Yeah.
What?
You heard that, Dante? Like he tried to sexually assault a dude.
Yeah, man.
Like you have to take the time to get to know these niggas, ladies. Y'all trying to have babies with them in the first.
I don't believe that shit. I don't believe that.
Get to know, and if you hear rumors, investigate those rumors.
Well, hey, listen, man. They was on them. They was on drugs, man. Them drugs do some crazy stuff to you, man. You got to watch what you're putting into your body. You know
I've had drugs before. I've never wanted to fuck a woman.
No. You ain't the right. You ain't had the right drug.
Never.
No, but I mean the dude who even tells the story. So first of all, I remember seeing when Stefan Diggs first got with Cardi B. Y'all remember when they was on that yacht and he had gotten some blowback because the girls was all surrounding him, etc. The part that the NFL investigated was the reason them girls was all surrounding him. He was on the yacht. Cardi was on the yacht. It was a bunch of females around him. He made them like call him daddy or something, or tell him he was the man or some shit. But behind that was he was giving out drugs and that bag. He had a baggie in his hand, which is why people were surrounding him and he was basically demanding that attention. So we saw that the young man who has what would you call it? He's making the claim against Stefan Diggs. He mentions basically gave her drugs and like his body was really tingling and he was horny. They was ready to go. He was like, but I didn't want to do. So like he say Steph grabbed him, pulled out his junk and started going, you know what I mean? And then grabbed Fam by the back of the neck, bro. He's like, man, that's the story that I heard online, man. I don't know how true it is, but to Payne's point, the point is you got to take the time out to get to know people, especially if you got things worth gaining. You know, Cardi B, we all know what that is. Any man coming off of that Offset situation would be lucky from a financial standpoint to be associated with her. So it's like, you know, you got to protect that. You know, you got a lot to protect. So yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it alone from there. But I would like to better for the girl. I hope things work out.
Okay. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get on to our topic for tonight, right? It is love versus family. Who do you choose? Now, listen. Sometimes in life, you might meet somebody that your family may disapprove of, right? And you may have to make a choice to disappoint your family or to be with the person that you really love or you think that you could have a relationship with. I had a situation like that with my first wife. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said before, my first wife was she was 9 years older than me, right? I was in my early 30s. When my mom met her, you know, she's like, hold on, wait a minute. You almost my age. You know what I'm saying? Like you only a couple years younger than me. Remember, my mom is young. My mom's she got pregnant with me when she was 16. So she was only like six or 7 years older than her. You know what I'm saying? So she disapproved of the person that I was in a relationship with. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and like I said, at the time I was a little bit younger. I didn't see the big picture like my mom kind of seen it. Like I said, she already had kids. She couldn't have any more kids. I already had 3 children at the time. So I thought I was cool on the kid tip, you know. But like I said, she was older than me. There was a lot of differences. You know what I'm saying? She was kind of manipulating me a little bit. And I still, like I said, being the man that I am, I don't let like my mom or my family actually dictate the person that I'm going to be with. I'm going to be with the person that I want to be with. You know what I'm saying? So I still went along. But in this particular case, and I kept on hearing things that she was doing that was underhanded, but I was kind of like thinking my mom was hating. You know what I'm saying? If she ain't hate so much, I would believe some of your shit, mom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stop hating. You know, but anyway, so make a long story short, I did get into this relationship. And the things that they were saying were true. and I probably should have listened from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a younger guy. I should have got somebody that was a lot younger than me. Like I said, I started cheating off rip almost. You know what I'm saying? I was never faithful because she really wasn't my complete type. Like I said, she was older than me. I was young and enterprising, and I was out to explore and see new things. And, you know, and I missed out on my best years of my life. Shit, I could have had me, you know, I could have had me at least a couple sons. Like I said, my son's autistic. She couldn't have no kids. So in this certain circumstance, I should have listened to my family. And I did choose the person that I wanted to be with, but I didn't choose them over my family, because what ended up happening was, after a while, like, look, I had barbecue. You know, I'm a social guy. I like to have barbecues and have get-togethers and shit like that. And I was having barbecues, like, you know, when Troy Smith played for Ohio State, man, we was having barbecues every weekend. I'm talking about 10 slabs of ribs, chicken, hot dog, every weekend. And what ended up happening was, my wife started leaving the house when I was having barbecues. She wasn't even socializing with my family and stuff like that. But I'm not going to choose you're not going to make me choose nobody over my family anyway. You know what I'm saying? My mom always been there for me. You know what I'm saying? And when she's wrong, and I'll tell her. But I'm not going to have to be in a position where I got to choose my family over this person or whatever. Hell no. My family always going to be my family. And, you know, if I choose to be with you, shit is going to play out how it is. I'm not influenced by anybody. Once I see that you're fucked up, then I'll address it. But, you know, I'm not going to let my family, you know, like, influence me one way or the other. I got to find it out for myself.
Yeah. Payne, you ever been in a situation like that where you were dating somebody and your family or members of your family were like, that's not it for you?
Can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I put it on mute so you don't hear that feedback. When I was in my teens, I used to like this guy. I was like a freshman and he was a senior. And I think that's the closest I got to it. Was a situation where he was much older. You know, he's like a senior, I'm a freshman. And so I'm like 14, he's 17, which today that's crazy. But we were at school. I was 15 and 17, because I had just turned 15 at the time. And we hung out all the time. And based on what, you know, my mom had taught me about love, I thought that I was in love with this guy. And my mom, she didn't like him. She was like, he's too old. You know, when she met him, she kind of iced him out a little bit. I was like, damn, Mom. I mean, I feel like she played it a little wrong, because I probably would have, like, when you have teenagers and you really hate who they're trying to date, that really makes that teenager want to say, nah, I'm putting my foot down. And I kind of did it. Like, I like this guy. I want to be with this guy. You're tripping, Mom. He's cool. He's like, you know, all the other boys in school, they were just like sex thirsty. You know, they wanted sex. But he was a guy who he never pressed up on me. We talked every day for like a whole year. And then eventually I was like, oh gosh, I like him. He's cool, because he used to look out for me and everything. But I mean, he wasn't a bad guy. It's just, you know, men, you know, how boys do. You know, eventually I'm 3 years younger. He's going to college. Of course, he's going to be out here doing some stuff. I think that's probably like the closest I've ever had to that. But I have, and I think for most people, even when I was in that relationship that was going to be domestic, there was some like domestic abuse in it. I couldn't push it that way. I knew it wasn't going to go that far, because my family is very attached to me. They're not going to let me put space in between them. You know, when you deal with people who are manipulative, eventually they try to put space in between you and your family, and that was never going to happen for me. So for me, yeah, I'm there's a good chance I would probably choose my family, unless I don't know. I don't know if there's a moment where I would choose a significant other over my family. I'm going to think about it. But while I'm doing that, Dante, what you got?
I guess it probably depends on how deep it is or when that happens. You know what I mean? It's easy to say when you first meet somebody, like, oh, yeah, I choose my family. But, like, you know, once you knee deep with somebody, it's like, man, you know. So I'm, you know, blessed to have great family, man. My family's always been really supportive of who I date, and they've always been really, really nice. And I usually take time to give them credit for that. They're very accepting. The only thing that I have close to that was I was in high school. I was dating this girl. She was, I think, 2 grades higher than me or something like that. I think she might have been in 12th grade and I might have been in 10th or something like that. And my mom used to be like, "Why you dating that ugly girl?" She'd be like, "You are too handsome to be dating that ugly girl." Now I ain't really think she was ugly at the time, obviously. But we like grew a bond. We had a class together. I was really good at math, so we had a math class together. I was with some upperclassmen and stuff like that, and we used to flirt. It was one of them things where like, it probably was half a school year before we ever even, really started talking anything like that. So yeah, my mom used to basically say that, she wasn't good enough for me, so to speak. And then all those years later, when I go back and I look at a particular homecoming picture, I realize that my mom was right all along. But she was nice to me. She was older than me, and she let me touch her booty. So, so I've had an experience like that.
It's not always about looks.
Well, it should start there. But no, I mean, she was cool. We spent time together. There also was a proximity that she lived within my home and all that other stuff. So hey, man, I had to make a player decision. She was able to play after school.
Okay. But yeah, I could say like
Do you?
Oh, go ahead, Champagne.
I was just gonna say, do you guys ever? Anita Howard said, "Someone me, until then, my family." All right.
Okay.
I was going to say, at this point in your life, if you guys are dating someone, does the approval of your family goes, like, if you wanted to marry someone, would you want the approval, or is that the approval of your family important to you before you marry somebody?
I'll answer that. I think, like I said, I don't necessarily look at that as a deal breaker if my family doesn't approve, but it means a lot if they do approve. Like, with my wife, I was shocked. Like, when I first introduced her to the family, you know what I'm saying? My mom she really loves they have a really loving relationship. She really loves her. She thinks she's cute. She got a nice personality. They really have a mother-daughter bond, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, my wife's mother actually passed away when she was like really young, like I think 19 years old. So my mom is now like a mother figure to her. And my mom, she crazy. My mom is crazy, man. She's something else. You know what I'm saying? And but she really does love my wife. You know what I'm saying? They have a really good relationship, and we get along. We kick it together. There's no problems. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that happened, and I think that really sealed the deal with my ex-wife, was one day we was at the House State Fair. And my nephews had a boxing match, right? So I let my mom use my camera. You know what I'm saying? I had a really nice camera. It was like a real nice camera back in the day, and my mom, she loves photography and shit. So, my mom was like taking pictures and shit. So then and I didn't notice until later, but my ex-wife came over and then she was like, she's like, "What you doing with that camera? Give me that. Give it here." She took the motherfucking camera from my mom. I didn't know that. And from then on, there was no return after that. You feel me? Like, she already had a disposition towards her.
Yeah.
But then when she started doing this underhanded shit, and you know what I'm saying? Like, she was hating. Like, I remember my mom used to bring, she used to bring, my mom, she did a side job at a hotel, and we used to get these hotel discounts and shit. Like, I could stay at the motherfucking Crown Plaza for like $39 and shit like that. But anyway, she was staying there. She was getting a hookup, and she brought these cookies home and shit. And then I was like, "Oh shit, hell yeah, I'm about to get some of my mama's cookies." She was like, "Yeah, those are Otis and Spunkmeyer's." You know what I'm saying? She was just hating and shit.
Hey.
Like, yeah, it was just like, it was straight motherfucking hate, man. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, like I said, it means a lot because it makes things go so much easier nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, when I used to travel and shit, like, my wife wouldn't go with me. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, because if we all get along, we take group trips together and shit, and everything is in harmony like it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it means a lot. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about if you're really close to your family and you do things and shit like that, because if family don't really get along with the person that you're with, you know what I'm saying? Then it makes shit real awkward. You know what I'm saying? And I've been through that already. You know what I'm saying? So, that is a factor, but to me, it's not a deal breaker. especially if I feel that family is wrong about what they're saying. But a lot of times, they can't see shit. Like, me and my daughters have conversations all the time about relationships. I just had one with my oldest daughter. And, I was telling her about, what I'm saying, and she hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be telling her shit, but she's a feminist like champagne.
Got it.
I am indeed a feminist. Thank you.
So for me, because of the way that my family has been, if my family don't like you, I'm gonna get it as a big red flag because they like everybody. How's that song go? My mama don't like you and she like everybody. Like my family likes everybody. So if they don't like somebody, I'm gonna view that as a red flag because similar to what Chuck was just going into, my stance on the topic as a whole is that if your family doesn't like somebody, there's usually a good reason. Now, every once in a while, you might got the kind of family that just don't like nobody. Every once in a while, you might got the kind of family that just chooses not to like somebody, that doesn't want you to be happy. Those are anomalies. I understand that there may be some out there. But for the most part, genuinely speaking, if the people that love you hate your man or hate your woman, most of the time, your man or your woman is not good for you. Most of the time, your man or your woman is doing things or is a kind of person that your family can see that isn't going to vibe for you or work for you, because we in those situations, our emotions are involved, and maybe we can't see certain things like Chuck was saying that our family can. So, if my family doesn't like you, I'm going to have to think long and hard about our situation because I spend a great deal of time with my family. Holidays, we take trips for no reason. So, for me, that would be important.
Okay, so let's say this. Okay, let me read this comment first. My family loves me, knows me, and if I did bring a man home, they trust me, and my judgment carries a lot of weight. And that's true. Some people, they do trust you. But this is the thing, though. Let's look at it in this term, though. Everybody puts their best front on in the beginning of the relationship, and we all know that everybody comes across as nice. They act like they're the perfect person for you. Now, if you are with somebody and they actually change, and like a lot of people do, after you get into a relationship and your family notices it, then how do you go about it then? Because some people might manipulate you in the beginning, and then they try to, like Champagne said, separate you from your loved ones because they want to control you. How do you deal with that type of situation, man? Like, let me ask you, because I don't know if Champagne is still on, but
yeah.
You
Can
still
you see
here?
me?
No, I can't. We can't see
can
you.
you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you. Yeah, I can hear you though. Perfect.
Oh, but you can hear me. Okay, well that's all right. So I have a friend of mine and she popped up pregnant, and I met the dude that she was with, and I did not like him. Like, it didn't take too many meetings to know that this dude was garbage, and she was pregnant by him, and I was just like, what? Like, what is it that you see in him? Just the way he kind of treated her. He'd be like, shut your dumb ass up, and she just giggling. And I'm like, you don't have a problem with that? I would have a problem. I have a problem with that, and that is not my nigga. Like, I don't. Why is he talking to you like that? And I remember she had a baby, and he like was out to the club the week she had the baby, and I was like, really? Like this is who we fuck with? That's crazy, right? But at the time, she was just so knee deep into it. She was just gonna stand on business, and that's how it is sometimes. You get into a situation, and I've been in a situation when people tell me like, hey, X, Y, and Z, he's not really into you like that. And I'm like, no, I just got to see it through because your feelings and your emotions are in it, and you're deep in it, and you're just like, let me just walk this path, So it would depend. If it's a situation of where I feel like her life is in danger, I had a couple people I know, not personally, but indirectly, who died from, domestic abuse, from domestic violence. And, in some of those situations, the guy in the beginning, he was cool. And then as time went on, I remember when I was a kid, and it was my stepdad's cousin, and she got shot by her boyfriend. And I remember the night it happened, we was all in the house, and they came in, they was like, oh, she got murdered, she got killed, and he just shot her. but he, he was abusive, and she just couldn't leave. And when you're in those abusive relationships, usually those type of guys, they prey on women who have, or even women who prey on men who have low self-esteem. Maybe you don't have a good family, so they prey on you. And the fact that you're in that, you're not trying to see it, and it's hard to get you out of it. My dad has went and he's busted up a couple dudes who's put their hands on his family members, but the women run right back to him. And it's just kind of like, I almost went to jail over this nigga. I can't get involved anymore. So it's hard. Like, some people, they're just in it and they don't want to get out of it. And I can't, if you're in an ocean, I can't throw you a lifeline and you're like swimming all around it, away from it. If you can't help me help you, then unfortunately you're stuck in that. So I've seen that. And that it's really sad, because there's if you took your time to look around, you could find you another good dude who actually won't put the paws on you. You could find that. You could find you a dude who is not going to, talk to you crazy. But that emotion is so deep, people don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Or can't.
Now we put basically combined, but basically both of what both of you guys actually said. I mean, it's about, Champagne mentioned earlier, taking the time out to actually truly get to know somebody. Because, like I had mentioned, it often comes down to when you find out that person is no longer a match. Our emotions, a lot of the times, are already attached. In your friend's case, she had already had a baby on the way with the man. Similar to Cardi B, females have shown they're very loyal. Once you get females to a certain point, quote unquote, they're not going nowhere. Once she was pregnant and having that man's baby, he was able to say things like, "Shut your dumb ass up," without any repercussion or cause, because her loyalty was going to not let her leave one way or the other. She was carrying that man's baby. That's why it's important to get to know people really well before you cross certain points, because once your emotions are attached at a certain level, it is difficult to cut that person off. It's easy to say before you get into a relationship that if a man ever put his hands on me, then I'm leaving. But it's hard when you're carrying that man's baby, or you just had that man's baby 2 months ago. All of a sudden, again, the mental of it is completely different. It's not as easy to pick up and leave. So, take the time to get to know people, because to Chuck's point, people can put their best foot forward up front, and oftentimes show you who it is that you want to see. But when the time comes when you see who they actually are, don't let it be too late. Take the time to get to know somebody for real.
That's real. Like I said, I'm getting feedback. I don't know if that's champagne or not. I don't know. But I mean that's true. Like I think like what we are a microwave society in so many different things, especially when it comes to dating. It comes down like where you might just feel that this person is the right person, because he looks good, or you got great sex, whatever the case may be. But that doesn't necessarily make that person the person for you in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I think that, like the traditional ways where, when somebody comes around your family and, you have dinner together, he meets your parents and things like that, that really meant something. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, people are so rebellious. They don't care about none of that. They just care about what their temporary needs are for the moment. And that's what happens a lot of times. But then in the long term, it doesn't work out. And as you see, there are so many different, it's just, the relationships are just not working. I'm going to go ahead and cue up a video and of the mentality of females. Okay. And I want to just let y'all know that these people right here, these are some hoes right here, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to check this out. Hold on.
If he treats me like a princess and that deal ain't good, but he's married, whoop-de-doo. He has a wife and a mistress, whoop-de-doo.
How do you sleep at night knowing people don't like you?
With no underwear in case they want to kiss my ass.
Girl, leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to get my squats in. Leave me alone. Leave us alone.
And now listen, these are older women. These are older women out here trying to outshine these younger women. You see they flexing titties and ass, you know what I'm saying, trying to compete with these younger women. And you see the mentality, these women should be grandmothers. You know what I'm saying? But they out here acting like thoughts, man. So, I mean, what do we do with this type of situation where you're talking about this is generational dysfunction as you see the way that these females are acting? So, man, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, for real, these are the grandmothers that are acting like this. So the youngsters don't have a chance, man. Like, for real, if grandma out here out competing them, talking about, yeah, you have the ding-a-ling, right? And all, damn, I mean, that's it. You might just get a homeless dude. You know, I'm sure it's a homeless dude that's packing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, damn. Like, what? I mean, for real, it just doesn't make any sense, man. It's crazy how what the mentality is right now. I mean, I think some people have gone insane. And as you see, that the last lady, she had them skinny legs and that big old 50-gallon behind. What the hell is that, man?
I mean, like you said, man, they're trying to compete out here, trying to compete, and you know, you don't have to do that if you use what you got to get what you want at the age that you're supposed to, then you won't have to live your life doing those things, ladies. A lot of the times what we're talking about here is making those in the moment, impulsive decisions, emotional decisions, and things that feel good to you in the moment don't always mean the best for your future. Don't always mean the best for what it is that you desire out of life. Decisions are serious, you know, and I mentioned a lot of the times of fathers and men being taken out of the household in the 80s and 90s, some voluntary, some involuntary, but as a result, we all having to deal with what's left over. And that's exactly what that is. That's us growing up without fathers in the household, young men not taking accountability, young women not taking accountability, women not knowing how to cater to a man, speak to a man, etc. Young man not knowing how to treat a woman like a man. So knowing how to treat a woman like a woman. So it all ends up compiling, and we're seeing the results of it here. And that's a really good example of exactly that. You know, fathers not being in the home is going to yield a different type of children. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, again, decisions are important. So, you know, for my ladies, if you don't have that male figure, or your mother or female figure isn't supportive of helping you with making good long-term decisions, find somebody who does. Too often we're looking to serve that immediate emotional need, and those decisions don't carry over into our future very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, you sound good.
Thank you. I will say this, like, I know we're the way we're conditioned, ladies. I can't speak to men too, but the way we're conditioned use to make our selections, and we need to get that logic bone up. Women can be logical. There's this crazy misconception that because women can't be logical. We can lean into logic. We just don't for some reason. We think, oh well, I feel this way about him. He has to feel this way about me. I mean, he does until he gets the panties, you know. But to sift through the less desirables. There's a guy I met, and he, you know, I'm talking to him, and I'm like, all right, things are going good. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me ask him questions. Are you married? Have you ever been married? Is there someone who believes they're married to you? Are you dating someone? Is there someone who believes that they're dating you and y'all don't go together? Is there somebody who, like, you don't go with, but sometimes they believe that they go with you? You know, just trying to cover all the bases just in case you try to wiggle out of it. And yes, he has someone he was dating. He had someone he was dating. He had 3 kids. Like, these are things that wasn't on his dating profile. I had to ask these specific questions. So when you're out here and you guys are dating, ladies, ask questions. I know some guys will gaslight you. Oh, that's not important right now. It is important. Before you let someone go into your temple, ask those questions. And if it makes them feel uncomfortable, flaggy, a little flaggy to me, a little flagalicious, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. Do your due diligence. Yeah, do your due diligence, and you know, and like I said, nothing is guaranteed in life. You know, you could do all the backstory things you have, but you cannot predict human behavior. I'm getting kickback from you, Champagne. That's you. But you cannot predict human behavior at all. Like, I mean, people can say the right things, they can act, they can put on the front for as long as you want. And the only really way to know someone is to either live with them or to work with them. You know what I'm saying? So you won't know until that happens a lot of times, because people can put on that good face and, you think you got a good person, but they've been rotten the whole time. Trust me. I know I done ran through a lot of people like that, but to lower the chances of that, I think it's just better to, if you do, take them to some family events, let your family get to know them or whatever, so you can get kind of more of a 3D perception of them. You know what I'm saying? And that will at least, increase the chances of the relationship lasting. Because, like I said, a lot of times, you got to seek counsel a lot of times, with people that are successful in what they do. People that have been in relationships a long time can give you that advice on, how to keep the relationship going strong, because your relationship is going to be tested at some point. And sometimes you need to seek counsel with somebody that has already been through it to help you get through it, successfully. But if you go back to somebody that's negative, first thing they're going to say, oh, no, leave him, girl. Or, oh, man, she ain't nothing, man. You need to leave. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got to seek counsel to people that have been through it, man. So you can be successful. So, yeah. So family, it does matter. I think that, it's all combined. I mean, if you are a family oriented person, family is going to be a factor in your decision when you choose a mate.
Yeah, you gotta, it's easy to get along when things are going well. If you're dating somebody and it's been 6 months, but it's been 6 months of bliss, nothing has happened, there's been no conflict, you don't really know that person. You don't really know a person until you know them in conflict. That is another layer that you have to get to know. And do you come out of that conflict feeling like, wow, I really could never see myself working with this person, or this person really gets on my nerves? Or are you wowed at, wow, we were able to get through that really well. My ex would never, or the last relationship I was in, it never was that easy. This was great. So in conflict, you can often see a lot. Do you work well in conflict? That is important. Because it's very easy to get along when it's sunshine and blue skies and flowers and birds singing. And then, yeah, we're fine. And yeah, our personalities get along very well. But if the ceiling started leaking water right now, do you all work well together? Is he able to say, grab that mop, grab this, do this, you call this, I'm gonna do that, etc.? Do you guys work too well? Do you do it? Are you arguing? Are you bickering? Do you not understand why he wants you to do the things that he wants you to do? These little small things like this, and putting yourselves in situations of conflict or emergent, will show you how well you can either work together or can't work together. Show you how well your communication is in urgent times. So it also shows you how well that man may be at leading and how good that young lady may be at following as well.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's
I got a
definitely
quick
true.
question for you
Okay.
guys.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I was always curious about this in dating. I don't introduce my family to who I'm dating until I'm like, okay, this is someone I do want to be serious with. At what point but I know some guys like introduce their parents to everybody. I was dating this guy and I thought we were something serious because he introduced me to his mom. We were indeed not serious. So when do you guys introduce your parents to the person you're dating?
Mm. Me personally, I think when I know that it's going to be, and like, when I know that it's more than just a sexual thing, that this person may possibly be a person that I can be in a relationship with, you know what I'm saying? Then I can introduce it to my mom, and then, we can see how it goes from there, because things are, in increments. Like I said, you start off, see if you have a rapport with somebody, then, things escalate, maybe the sexual thing. And then, after you have sex and things, you still around, it elevate to other things. You might start taking trips, whatever. And if this is a person that might be around for a while, then that's when I know if it's a possibility, then that's when I would introduce them to my mom or whatever the case may be, or my family, if I think that it's a possibility that is more than just a sexual connection.
Man, listen, if you met my mama, you special. Very special if you met my mama. My mama's probably met a total of 4 women total, probably my entire life, because that's exactly what that's supposed to be. That's supposed to be reserved for a special relationship or type of relationship. Now, something that I do is definitely have the people that I deal with around my friends. My friends care for me. These are the people who are around me on a daily basis. So I do like to have them around my friends because it's important that you be able to get along with the people who I spend most of my time with. It would be nothing worse than, dating you for 6 months and really liking you. And then, the moment I introduce my best friend in any way, it's a giant conflict. I've known him for 20 years. I've known you for 6 months, but I like you, etc. So, for me, I do definitely like to involve friends. Friends can also tend to give a lot of the times a better, more honest perspective than your family, who may be just trying to please you. A lot of the times friends can kind of tell you because they're more familiar with your type and what you usually do and go for, because those are the people that you actually spend most of your days or weeks communicating with. So not so much family. That's going to be a special thing. But I do often bring the friends around and, love to hear honest opinions from friends.
I heard that. Okay, hold on. Before we move forward, I got a special video that I want to play. This is part of my Doppelganger TV series. I just want to play this real quick. It's about a minute. I want y'all to check this out and see if you guys can figure this out before we hold on. Just check it out real quick. Here we go. There are over 8 billion people on planet Earth, and there could only be so many different skin tones, noses, shapes, and sizes. So everyone has a look-alike, past or present, which we call a doppelganger. Here on Doppelganger TV, we have identified some people for you, and here's the first example. We have 2 men that look exactly alike, but it should be pretty easy for you guys to figure it out. I'm gonna throw you a couple hints. The first person played in the early 90s movie with Tupac Shakur in the movie Juice. The second person is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Have you guessed it yet? Mike Tomlin and Omar Epps. They look like they could almost be twins. They're similar in age and they got the same head. I mean, my gosh, they look exactly alike. So thanks for watching this episode. Please keep tuning in every week as we will have different doppelganger lookalikes for you. You can tell the truth. They look like,
why you did Mike T?
Chuck, you're the reason why the police think we all look alike. They
look exactly.
eyeballs. That's about it, and they dark.
Man, they look exactly alike. You be hating.
Nah, they do look alike. They do look alike. Nah, they related.
Wow.
They some kin, man.
Oh my god.
That is hilarious, bro. Why you do Mike T and Omar Epps like that? Those boys do look alike. I'm weak.
That is true. but anyway, yeah, catch that. He opened up a TikTok page where I do a lot of doppelganger because I got so many of them. I did one last week. That's the second one. So check me out. I'll drop the TikTok link when I get it up and going. But that's coming soon. But yeah, okay. So final thoughts on our topic for today. What do you think? Like, who do you choose? Like, if you had to choose, Dante, between love and family, where you going with it?
Man, so check this out, y'all. If you love your family and you believe that your family has your best interest at heart, take the time to listen to your family. A lot of the times when your family doesn't like someone, your whole family doesn't like someone, often they're not treating you well. Often they haven't shown that they're worthy of you and who you are. So if those red flags are going off, all the people who genuinely love you, who want to see the best for you, are telling you to look out for something or to watch out or whatever the case, then take the time to step away from it and give it some serious thought. No, you shouldn't make all your decisions based on what other people want to do. But when you're making a lifelong decision, when you're making a decision that's going to impact your family, oftentimes you want to consider the people that you love and how it's going to impact everyone going forward.
All right. What about you, Payne? What you got?
I think we focus a lot of talking from, because I would say all of us, we relatively like our family. We feel like our family is pretty positive. And we all spoke from that side, but it's one-sided because there's people whose families are really toxic. They don't have the greatest family. I know some people where I'm just like, you should have ran away from home when you were a kid. Your family sucks. But if you're one of those persons and you find you a good person and your family just really doesn't like them, I want you to take a moment to think about what type of family you have. Are they healthy? And think about what this person is. And usually I would ask, what exactly don't you like about them? And if you have a hating ass family member, they'll give you some hating ass answers. Oh, you think you too good, you think you above, blah, 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 right? But listen to your heart. There are times when you do choose love over family. There are times when someone can take you away from it all, baby. There's times. So, use your discernment, practice that, grow it, be smart.
Nice. I like that. Okay. My final take on it is, and like I said, you kind of took a little bit of what I was going to say. Now, like I said, when it comes to family, sometimes family wants you to stay in that same box that you've always been. They want you to be accessible to them, especially if their life isn't going like it should be. And they don't want anybody to take that love away from the family. And I've seen it a lot of times where, somebody might be in a loving relationship, but family be hating on them because that person is taken away from what that person is doing for the family. So you got to be careful from that also if you do have hating family members like Champagne just mentioned. But overall, family should always be a factor if you're a family person, because that's your life. Those are people that's been there with you from the beginning, and those are the people that are only going to be there if things don't work out with the person that you may have a love interest for. So that's about our time. Catch us same place, same time. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any ideas for show topics or whatever, please let us know at the loveandpainshow@gmail.com. But until next time, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace. This is my father, Big Chuck. He taught me the pimp mentality from the crib, so I was never faithful in any relationship. Until one day, 6 years ago, I looked at all the broken hearts and pain that I caused and decided it was time to level up. So now I'm a happily married man who still doesn't stand for the trick mentality that is destroying our community.
I'm Champagne, a single woman on a journey to build a life rooted in self-love, balance, and authenticity. I'm exploring the ups and downs of personal growth, embracing independence, and creating space for joy, peace, and purpose. Whether you're on a similar path or just curious about the ride, this is your space to feel seen, inspired, and empowered.
I'm Dante. I'm the realest of the group. I'm once married and now divorced and dating as a single father. Here to bring a grounded perspective, pushing past all the fluff and getting to the heart of what really matters.